Hi, boys and girls. Today we are going to be talking about quotation marks again, and we are specifically going to be talking about capitalizing and punctuating our quotations. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what it's telling us. It tells us here that it says to always capitalize the first word of the speaker's exact words. Now, I mentioned that on Tuesday, so just be sure whenever you are seeing what somebody is saying that that first letter is capitalized because it is the first word of their sentence of what they're saying. And like I said, we always capitalize our first letters of our first words of our sentences. Now then it says that if a sentence starts with a quotation, we would add a comma, question mark, or exclamation point inside of the quotation mark at the end of the speaker's words, and then we would add a period at the end of the sentence. But if a quotation comes last, then we would add the punctuation inside the quotation marks. So let's look and see what this is meaning, okay? Because I know that's a little fuzzy. So if we're reading a book or if we're writing and we want to use quotation marks, excuse me, and if we want to have what the person says first, and then it would say like he exclaimed, like in this example, then we are still going to start with the beginning quotation marks like we have right here. And then we're still going to have our first word, our first letter be capitalized like the T in that. And here he is saying something with excitement. So he is going to have an exclamation point. But this is all inside of the sentence of what he is saying. So then after the exclamation point and the closing quotation marks, then it says he exclaimed. So that is still part of the sentence. So you'll notice that there is a period here as well. So that tree is tall, he exclaimed. So that tree is tall are his exact words, but he exclaimed, like I said, is still a part of the sentence. And then if what we're reading or what we're writing has what the person, their name first and the word said or exclaimed or replied, if that comes first in the sentence, that's where you'll always see that comma. So Jean said, "You're right, it's huge." So we could have two different punctuation marks. Like in this first sentence, we have an exclamation point and we have a period. We could also have a question mark in what a person is saying. So, like if they said, "What's that?" And then it said, "He asked." Okay, so then we could have a question mark and we could also have a period because he asked is part of the sentence of what we are reading or what we're writing. So it could have a question mark and then the ending quotation marks and then he asked. And then if it's just a statement of what they're saying, then it would be a comma and then quotation marks and then like it would be maybe he said and then there would be a period at the end of that sentence, okay? So I know that can be a little confusing because of there being more than one punctuation mark, okay? So let's go ahead and let's practice on a couple of these. Let me erase all my marks now. And so let's look at number one. Number one tells us that James asked, "What time is it?" So the first thing I'm going to look for is what the person said. Okay, and so I know that what he said is, "What time is it?" So here he's asking it. So I know asking sentences need a question mark, and then it would be there would be the quotation marks, and here would be the capital W. And after the word ask, we would want a comma. Okay, we are going to look at number two really quickly. "I don't know," Sarah replied. Here we would have our ending quotation marks here and our beginning quotation marks here, okay? So that is how you do the quotation marks with capitalization and punctuation.